And hello, all. This is Lala Madness with another episode of the Fierce Review. And thank you all for tuning in. You know where to reach me at on all social media platforms at Lala Madness, at Instagram at Lala Madness _official. And also, you can email me at lmfiercereview@gmail.com. For any of you that have missed any of my videos, you can check them all out on YouTube. All right. Now, in this episode, we're actually going to be discussing how Mase called out Diddy for his publishing rights to his music after that little Grammy fiasco. So let's talk about it. Now, let's talk about this shady business, but I'm going to give you a little background first, so that you know kind of the background for those. I don't know. Some may or may not know who P Diddy is, but I know him from way back because I was born in the early 80s. So therefore, when he was popping in the 90s, I was damn near grown. So therefore, let's talk about what all he's done over the years and who he really is. So, and also a little bit about Mase. So we all know that Mase was a hot member of P Diddy's Bad Boy label back in the day, even before the death of Biggie. So, it was a group of them. Kind of had a lot of the Bad Boy artists included Biggie, Total, Faith, 112, Jadakiss, The Lox, Foxy Brown, Shine, all the people, that was hot back then. Okay, they were all on his label. A lot of other artists too that I didn't mention were also on Bad Boy Records. So a lot of their songs actually were produced by Stevie J, which he went by the Hitman back then. But Hitman Stevie J, which the Hitmen were actually a group of producers, but Stevie J was one of the main ones that produced a lot of their records. Okay, so Mase actually did a lot of features on all the artists that were on Bad Boy Records, and also he had a lot of hot bangers out too. So now, I did mention that Shine was one of his artists. Okay, so Shine actually had a brief stint in the entertainment industry for a little while with, that hot song where everybody thought that he was Biggie, but he wasn't. Okay, because I thought he was Biggie for a long time when that song first came out. And I ain't gonna do it because I've been running around hollering it for like 2 days now, as I, got the show notes prepared. And once the song get in my head, it's kind of stuck. However, I ain't gonna start that. But Shine actually was the dude on this label that everybody thought, like I said, was Biggie in that song Bad Boys. So he did the time for that shooting. I don't know. You can look it up though. I don't know if you guys recall or remember it. He did the time in jail for the shooting at a Manhattan club called Club New York, where 3 people were actually injured. So Diddy and J-Lo were actually in a relationship at the time, and they were also present. And this happened in 1999. Okay. So he was convicted of possession of a weapon, reckless endangerment, and assault by the 3 people getting injured at the club, and by him also shooting in the club. So he was sentenced to a 10-year sentence in 2001. After he completed his sentence back in 2009, he was deported back to Belize, where he's from. And that's pretty much where he's been ever since then. Now, Sean has actually done interviews saying that Diddy snitched on him to avoid Diddy getting probation, which he's saying that instead of Diddy taking a probation and everything being good, because Diddy could have made it on probation, is what he's saying. Instead, it made him face 25 years because what he did was went and pointed Shine out, and also got lawyers involved and all that to try to say Shine did it, and went to try to go get some people to also corroborate the story that Shine was the one that pulled the pistol out and got the shooting in the club to avoid him from getting probation or him to have anything to do with it. Basically to take the fault off of himself, which I don't know. You know what I'm saying? In the hood, you don't snitch in the hood. But Diddy is a nigga that's gonna go for himself. I mean, we all know what happened to Biggie, so I'm just saying. All right, and I ain't speculating. I ain't about to go there. You can think what you want. That's my opinion. People come up missing, and Sean was like, "That's fucked up." Pretty much, that's how that went. Now Sean had basically said that he's the head of some businesses, so he can't really play himself out of his current situation, because now he's doing very well in Belize. He just had a baby a couple years ago as well, maybe about 2 years ago. So he's trying to do all right for himself. But he said that if he does see Diddy, Diddy got about 10 minutes to leave from where he at. Now, I heard the interview where he actually said this in, and the nigga sounded serious. He didn't sound like he was playing. He said that he got 10 minutes because the loyalty was broken. The trust was broken. It was fucked up that he made him have to face a 25-year sentence, which he actually did 10, and then get deported back to where he's from. So therefore, his music career that just had got started was over before it even got going. Now, moving on. Diddy actually did receive an Icon Award at the Grammys, and he gave a speech about how it used to be. Quote, he said, how it used to be about making hit records. Now it's about ensuring the culture moves forward. Okay. Now we do have in the entertainment industry as well as through, and this is basically a whole nother show topic, but I'm going to say it anyway. They believe in they believe in progressive thinking and moving forward and changing the times as they change instead of going by the old constitution, which has old constitutional rules according to the majority of the entertainment industry and the majority of those progressive thinkers in the ones that pull the strings. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so apparently he down with that. So he's saying though, it used to be about making hit records. Now it's about ensuring the culture moves forward, which is some bullshit. Let's just put it out there. Now, Mase actually did a performance in tribute to Diddy. He played along with performances over the years because he was actually embarrassed about what I'm about to say, so that he never actually called it out or made it, brought it to light, because we know Mase has then went on to be a preacher and did some other things as opposed to still rapping with Bad Boy. Okay, which I never got. How the hell could you go preach? If somebody do you so bad that you go start to be a preacher, and some people have a calling, I get it. But that's like an extreme move. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a Kanye move. You go from rapping about A, B, C, and D, which is a little bit of everything, to talking about you preaching the gospel is now a drastic change to where I guess that's where Mase went after his dealings with Bad Boy went whatever direction they went. And so let's get into it. After Diddy gave his fake ass speech, he finally spoke up on, Mase finally spoke up on Instagram. Okay. So he actually posted a picture of Meek Mill. He spoke up on, was it Instagram? Yeah, he spoke up on Instagram. So he posted a picture of a Meek Mill tweet about people having young black kids in slave contracts in the music business. Okay, so Meek Mill, as you know, he does have the record label now called Dream Chasers, which I actually did a video on a while back with Jay-Z. So him and Jay-Z are in collaboration with this new record label. And if you missed that video, you can actually check that out. That's on my YouTube channel and also on all podcasts about Jay-Z and Meek Mill linking up to do Dream Chasers label. Okay, so, and during the tweet that Meek Mill was saying, he also promoted Come Get With Us, speaking of the Dream Chasers label. Okay, because he's saying, I know a lot of y'all been done wrong, so basically you want to be done right or want to get out of your contract that you currently have where you're getting fucked over, you can come over here and holler at us. Okay, so in response to that as well, under that picture of Meek Mill and also a quote of what Meek Mill posted on the tweet, Mase put a long ass comment under there, not a comment, but a long ass caption to let you know what he was thinking and why he put that shit there like that. So I'm going to actually read it to you, and this is verbatim as far as what was on Mase's Instagram page and how he felt about it. But it is juicy, y'all. So grab your invisible pearls, get your little sip of whatever you getting, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you and let you know exactly how Mase felt about that fake ass shit that P Diddy said. So, I heard your Grammy speech about how you are now for the artist and about how the artist must take back control. So I'll be the first to take that initiative. Also, before we ask of other ethnicities to do us right, we should do us as black people better, especially the creators. I heard it loud and clear when you said that you are now for the artist and to that, my response is that if you see change, you can make a change today by starting with yourself. Your past business practices knowingly has continued, purposely starved, I guess has continued, he meant to say has continued to, purposely starve your artists and been extremely unfair to the very same artists that helped you obtain that icon award on the iconic Bad Boy label. I guess that Mase was also on. Peep. For example, you still got my publishing from 24 years ago in which you gave me $20,000. 20K, people, for all that shit that Mase put out back in the day, which I'm sure was worth way more than $20,000. Anywho, that's my commentary on that. I'm going to move on. He also stated, which makes me never want to work with you as any artist wouldn't after someone is robbing you and tarnished your name when you don't want to comply with his horrendous business model. Now, I want to know what's the horrendous business model. Because Mase is not the only artist that has had issues with Puffy. It's also been the Lox, Jadakiss. A couple other artists have had run-ins and issues with Puffy. And he made a lot more money from Biggie's music after Biggie passed, because he continued to release music. And then he dropped another album. Then he put a bunch of stuff on another album. And so he continued to make money from that artist as well. And I'm sure it's happened to more artists, but they refused to speak out because it took Mase ass 24 years to say something about it. Okay. However, people will always ask what's up with Mase. So I would be forced to still perform to not look crazy when I was getting peanuts, and the robbery would continue. So many great moments and people's lives and music were lost. But again, I rode with you in the face of death without flinching, and you still wouldn't do right. I never said anything because I wanted to wait until I was financially great so I can ensure that I was addressing this from a pure place and not out of spite. Good thing, because you don't want it to seem like that you over here because you broke and bumming and now you need a little change. You got yourself together. You made your money off your little preaching and whatever other business endeavors that you had over the last 24 years. And now he came back and he's mentioning something about his damn money. And he got every damn right to. Okay. To add insult, you keep screaming black excellence and love. But I know love isn't free. So I offered you $2 million in cash just a few days ago to sell me back my publishing as his biggest artist alive. Alive. He did put that in there. I didn't say that. He said that. Okay. That always show you respect for you giving me an opportunity at 19 years old. Your response was, if I can match what the European guy offered him, that would be the only way I could get it back. Or else I can't wait till I'm 50, or else I can wait until I'm 50 years old and it'll revert back to me from when I was 19 years old. Now, I'm going to pause right there. There's more to it. Of course there is. But how the hell you can take somebody's music from when they're 19 years old, get them $20,000, and then at that point tell them they can get the rights back basically 30 years later when they fucking 50? What career is he planning on having at 50 to want to, still promote? So you're going to make all the money off of his music that he did under your label 24 years ago, all the way until he 50, and then he can live off the rest of it until ain't nobody going to even know who the fuck Mase is by the time he's 50, and to make money off of him for the remaining of his life, for him to make money off himself rather the remaining of his life. That's shitty. That's messed up. And P Diddy, you wrong as hell. But I never liked your ass no way because I already seen how you moved. And I said it. All right. Now, back to what Mase had to say. So you brought it for the 20K and I offered you $2 million in cash. This is not black excellence at all. When our own race is enslaving us. If it's not about owning, it can't be about us owning each other. No more hiding behind love. You changed? Give the artists back their money so they can take care of their families. End quote. So that is what Mase had to say in regards to how P Diddy bought the rights from him when he was 19. Well, basically, he started at 19. So I'm not saying at 19 years old is when he bought the rights. Okay, bought his publishing and gave him $20,000. Now in 99, $20,000 still wasn't no damn money. It wasn't, not for all the work that he was putting out and not for you to actually own all this man's music when he put out a lot of shit. and he was young, obviously in his 20s still at that time when you did that. And so, you know, at that time, it just like it took him 24 years to speak up now, he wasn't going to speak up then because he respected you as putting him on, but nobody thinks that they going to get fucked in the time or moments that you came and did this. I mean, who the hell? What the? Okay, anywho, sorry about that. Now, I don't know who told P Diddy that this shit was alright, but it ain't alright. It's dead ass wrong. You took that little boy money. You used him in the aspect to do whatever it did for the label, which I'm sure it did a lot of good, and it was worth way more than $20,000. $20,000, you need to give him that for one song. Let alone a whole catalog of songs is real shitty, and then you want to come and preach this shit at the Grammys about how you looking out and how you want to push forward people in the black community and all this shit. That ain't what you been doing though. So that's why he said you changed, question mark. I mean, that was a question, because give artists back their money so they can take care of their families. Why would you think that that shit is okay? And obviously you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Look what you did to Shine. Look what you probably did to a bunch of other artists on your label, which multiple artists on his label have complained about getting fucked over in contracts, not getting their money. Read them contracts, people, when you sign industry contracts. Watch out for them 360 deals. A lot of y'all sign them damn 360 deals, and you don't know what the hell was going on when you signing them. Did you read it clear? Did you read paragraph A, B, C, and D that go with number 1? All that shit that come along with that. How you think that it's done happened to TLC, Whitney, all kind of motherfuckers. It happens. It's been happening. Tony Braxton, it ain't just started now. However, and I get that they find somebody that claims that they're going to help them, push them in this direction, contribute this, contribute that, and they got all this that they can actually put with them in order to blow them up and make them a star, which is what actually a lot of people do this for that's in the entertainment industry. But don't come at me with no shitty ass contract and then tell me that you're going to give me $20,000 for every song that I done put out. Bullshit. And you're going to keep getting paid every time they play that shit on the radio, every time they play that on YouTube, every time they play it anywhere, you're getting another couple coins. Okay? And they get nothing because you've already so-called prepaid them. That shit is foul. Okay. Now, them 360 deals, I don't know what type of deal Mase signed. So let's be clear on that. But those 360 deals, they going around a whole lot lately. Now, what they don't know is that at the end of the day, yeah, they'll give you $1 million. Okay, let me tell you how this works. So we can be clear. Let me get this shit out the way so we can be here. Okay, let me tell you how this works. So when you sign a 360 deal, they give you, say, $1 million advance. That's exactly what it is. When you go and stay at them hotels, when you go throw them parties, when you go get that motherfucking jewelry, when you go buy that house, what do you think? You think that that's coming out your $1 million as far as just your house and your personal expenses of how you choose to live. No, more than that is coming out that goddamn $1 million. Your studio time is coming out of that $1 million. They not paying for that, you are. Out that same damn $1 million. That's the budget that you have to work with in order to start recouping some change. That's how that goes. That car that you driving, that's part of that. Okay. Let me see. What else? Oh, your sounds man, the venue, the hotels. You want to ride around with that big ass entourage and shit. Who you think paying for that ticket? You think your label paid for them? No, the label paid for them with their damn credit card, probably. And then that shit is going to be billed to your $1 million. And then when you wake up after you done went and took 20 people to every show you done had, you done went and bought mama a house, you a house, bought that nice Lamborghini, did this, that, and the third. You ain't realizing you done signed that fucked up contract. And the minute that your album drop and it don't generate that $1 million and them album sales is low, then you gonna have to give them. And sometimes they'll tell you they want 3 albums for the same $1 million. Now, how the hell you gonna do that when you already tapped out in the first album? Where the rest of the money coming from? Nobody ever thinks about that part. Read your contract, people. Read it. It is 90% of the time, unless you get with probably Dream Chasers to Do You Right, the Jay-Z and Meek Mill collaboration. Check them out. Holla at a player. Even those that's in fucked up contracts now, they said they probably got something for you. You know what I'm saying? And they probably buying out contracts, and then they make sure that you at least be able to eat a little bit, because They probably both have been fucked in industry contracts over the years, and they know how it feels, and they know how to get out of it, and they probably got a good legal team, blah, 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 because they got a little change. Okay. Don't sign stuff you don't know what you're signing. Don't let somebody fuck you over like Mase got done and buy your shit for $20,000, which I can go blow $20,000 today. I've done it before. I done spent more than that in one day at one point in time. So it's easy to do. And that's not worth everything that man has done over the years and all the albums he's put out, all the singles that were hot, all of this, all of that. He's still jumping on the stage, doing shit for your ass here, there, and everywhere, doing tours and all this shit for you because he's still trying to be loyal, talking about he working for peanuts. That's what he said, because he's still mad and wanted to buy his own shit back for $2 million when you paid $20K for it. And you still said no because somebody else overseas has a better offer. And unless he can beat that, he's going to keep him. Who the hell does that? And he can get him back when he's 50. P Diddy, your ass gonna have some bad luck for that shit. You gonna crumble eventually because you've had your time. Your reign is probably about to be up. You know what I'm saying? Your baby mama done passed. I'm not gonna get into that. That's a whole nother thing. That was probably, you know what I'm saying, some shit you had to do in order to keep going. But I'm gonna let that go because I'm not here for that in this video. That's a whole nother video. And everybody ain't woke, so it ain't gonna make sense to everybody anyway. So at the end of the day, I'm sticking to the subject at hand. Mase had to let P Diddy know that you speaking about black excellence and how all the people from other races are fucking over people in contracts, when actually it's their own race that is doing it to them as well, including P Diddy. And if you look it up, a lot of artists that was on the Bad Boy record label has had an issue with the same thing that Mase had an issue with. It ain't no damn coincidence. How the hell you think he affording that big ass house and all that? He fucking the shit out of everybody. Literally, no Vaseline. Bend over, catch this, and he robbing the shit out of folks. That's what he been doing. I mean, J-Lo used him to make her career what it was because didn't nobody know who the fuck she was back in the day when she was fucking with P Diddy. She had a little whispers of her name throughout the industry then. But when she fucked with P Diddy, that was so she could get her clout up. But then when that shit happened with Shine, as I just mentioned, that she was there for, then that pretty much she got the fuck on out of there. And to save her reputation and her name, she had to stop fucking with P Diddy at that time, but they still remain good friends and still communicate somehow and have communicated over the years. So everybody just using everybody to get where they need to go. But pay an artist what they're worth. Pay an artist what they have. You know what they generated. You know what them checks was coming in. You know what them album sales was doing. You know what them damn single sales was doing. You know what that tour money was like. And $20,000. I'm not gonna tell you what happened. I'm not gonna tell you. Me and the goons will be out looking for somebody. You play with me about some $20,000 for some shit I done put years into. I done wrote my own shit and all that, and you want to come? What? And then to turn that man into preaching. He had to go preach and pray about it to avoid from probably doing something to his ass. I'm just keeping it real. That's the only thing I can think of. He had to turn his life over to God because he trying to figure out why the fuck he got fucked so hard by somebody that he trusts and know and that actually he worked with and thought was, you know what I'm saying? That's why he called himself Diddy, because he want to be everybody daddy. But I ain't never seen a daddy that just robbed everybody and shit. And that, well, no. Unless he talking about the pimp version of daddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's like Diddy is kind of similar to daddy. And what do a pimp do? Take your motherfucking money after you done went out there and worked hard all goddamn day. That's probably where the name came from. What y'all think? That's what I think. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. All right. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, follow, watch all of the rest of my YouTubes on my videos, on YouTube as well. Check out all of everything on podcast at Lala Madness, all social media platforms at Lala Madness as well. And email me with any questions, comments, or possibly concerns at lmfiercereview@gmail.com. And this is Lala Madness. I'm out.